Phenomenological! Congratulations! Now I can drink my coffee and chocolate ice cream with Ceylon cinnamon. This is very big for us. Obviously, I could have just drank it, but there would have been no story there. That would have been very one-dimensional. Caveman has thing. End of story. There's nothing to learn there. Let's add a second dimension. Let's make a game out of it. When we pull from the earth, we have to give back to it. The Garden of Eden happened. With the knowledge of the gods, there was a contextual change, a fifth dimensional change, where we didn't have to go anywhere. The Garden of Eden didn't just magically transform like it does in the cartoons. The way we looked at the situation changed, and then we realized we were naked. In 1776, Adam Smith released The Wealth of Nations. The division of labor, something that has been happening for, ask an anthropologist, division of labor has been happening from the very beginning. But within free market capitalism, the idea that each of us could be doing different shit. And see, like, everybody's got to eat, but not everybody is going to work for it in the same way. So we have a game made out of it, but now we have three dimensions where some of us are working harder than others, and I'm still going to get the coffee. So how does that work? That's the basics of trade. That's the basics of all finance and the whole global international system, 3D finance. And you don't really have to look much further than, I need this thing, I need the money, and you get the money from this thing and it goes to this thing. Where you're at in the flow of the money. You don't really have to see any further than that, and for survival purposes, most people live in 3D finance their entire lives. Let's open up a fourth dimension, the time element. There's a temporal element to money, and you can make money travel through time. When you learn to do this, you'll be able to work like the hedge funds do, or the way DJs do. DJs can move forward and backward in time and control emotion over a temporal spectrum as opposed to controlling emotion through music in the moment. Through using music, again, fifth dimensionally, recontextualizing or agreeing with or provoking a new contextualization of an experience as music decorates time. With money, moving money through time, you can give to your past, you can give to your future, you can take from your past, you can take from your future. How do you give money to your past? Well, retroactive accounting techniques. You ever try to calculate the net present value of an asset? You can write off the depreciation on previous tax records, and that can change how much you could have owed or not, and you might actually get a refund based on that. Let's not go there. You got to talk to a creative accountant about how retroactive accounting takes place. How do you take money from the past? You sell something that you used to have, or you cash in on some kind of thing that you put in on a seed that you planted. You harvest a seed that you planted. How do you give money to the future? You invest. You put the money in something that's going to return money in the future. Not a big deal. How do you take money from your future? Credit. You borrow money from someone, and there's an expectation that there's going to be a future date that you got to come up with that money and probably more. You got to make the assumption that you're going to be better off tomorrow. Let's see if you can do that. We make money travel through time, and many of us in 3D finance don't really need to think about that so much. That can make your brain hurt trying to make money travel through time, or music travel through time, or whatever it is. Working in 4D is something that many people do. It's necessary for human survival to project your thoughts outward on the timeline. When managing risk or doing strategy or dealing with the near past, we often project our thoughts outward into multiple timelines as we consider probabilities. Multiple ways things can fork or tree outward. When you look back at the past, it's 2020, but if you don't have perfect information, then you start coming up with probable pasts. We talk about probable futures a lot, but probable past is something that happens a lot. Our idea of the past is forever changing. Now we're finally back to the fifth dimensional component, the reframing again of the now, where the now doesn't actually change, but the way we look at it changes. We don't have to go anywhere to change what universe we are on. as we negotiate with each other which timeline we are on. That is the essence of fifth dimensional finance. Now, through contextualization, through reframing, through controlling not what I'm focused on, but where I'm focusing from, and backing forth phenomenologically through the levels of attentive awareness to all these masks and interpretative stages, and stages of the mind, body, brain, sensory system, memory, expectations, all the way back to the spirit. Not only here, and not only on every timeline and on parallel timelines, yours and mine, but all of it converging back here as one. I get to enjoy this coffee, not just in one dimension, or two, or three, or four, but in a multitude of ways simultaneously. A truly multi-dimensional experience. This is multi-contextual gaming, the essence of fifth dimensional finance. Thank you for the coffee.
House of Pleasure.